going on, everybody? Michael here. Welcome back to another episode of Technoid. Today officially kicks off the first of many big projects for the summer. As you guys know, every summer I do at least one big project, and this year we have gotten some very big projects. This is the start of one of many robot cleaner reviews. If you guys have not seen my previous review on the AquaSense 2 Pro, I encourage you to check that video out because what happened in the span of a year is amazing. And we got a lot of robots, a lot of videos to talk about. This is gonna be a huge summer for me, so make sure you're subscribed. Today we're gonna take a look at the first robot. For those of you that are on a budget looking for a premium cleaning experience for your pool and you're on a tight budget, I think we have something here for you. This is the Hydro3S by Poolmate. They were kind enough to reach out to me and send me this device for free. I want to thank them for their continued support, and I want to thank them for working with my channel. But as you guys know, with all of these videos, and anytime I work with any company, the drill is the same. They do not have a say in my video. They do not tell me what to do. They do not tell me what to say, and they are seeing it the same time that you guys are. So that means you're watching it the same time that they are. Now we got that out of the way, let's talk about the robot itself. So the Hydro3S by Poolmate is one of the more unique type of pool cleaning devices because it's not your standard pool cleaner. Obviously, it's one of the many new sub-products on the market, which is the cordless wireless robot cleaner. As you know, a lot of this industry is starting to pick up steam, and this is just one of many, but this one has a few things that I actually have to give it some credit for, especially for the price that it's coming in at. But before we get to the positive and negatives, let's talk about the robot itself. Now, the robot itself is built very well. It has these nice little ridges and grooves on the side, which helps to work on the floor when you're putting it into the water. On the bottom of the robot, if we lift it up, you can see it has a full array of scrubbers, which helps to pick up the dirt or the earth or anything that gets into your pool. On top of that, there are these two little suction areas which actually sucks up and absorbs dirt. This is actually a very unique feature because this allows for any dust or debris to be sucked in from the bottom and not just, as they would say, just sit there, which is really cool for a product of this price range. Over here, we have some flaps here that helps to pick up any excess dirt that may be missed. And then we have these nice little roller pads that helps to keep everything stable and balanced. On the front of the robot, we do have a switch, which you can turn the robot on and off. When you turn it on, it has 3 lights. It has here the wall, the floor, and an auto mode, which you can set if you want to clean the walls or you want to do the floor. It gives you those options. Turning it off will conserve battery. And then on the back of the robot is the charging port. Now, it does use a proprietary charging connector, which you can technically get if you find it on Amazon. I haven't been able to, but I'm sure it's somewhere out there. But on the charger itself, it does come with an ejector tool to take out any dust or water that should potentially be in the charging port to help with more efficient charging and protection of surge. And then lastly, when it comes to the actual build itself, it is made out of a premium plastic material. It feels very sturdy, very nice. On the top here, the last thing to take note of is the basket. When you pull this out, it does have a dual layer basket system, which is actually really cool. Opening it up, you can open it and clean as you need, which you will see. It has a 2-layer system, so one here is for big dust and debris, and then on the side is for any excess dirt. And putting it back in is as simple. You just put it in on through the top, click it into place, and then close the head, and that seals it. So overall, when it comes to the actual robot itself, it's actually a very nice package and very good quality, especially for its price, which we'll get to in a moment. Now let's talk about the specs. Now, inside of this robot is an 11,000 milliamp hour battery system. So that means you can get up to 3 to 4 hours of cleaning when you inject it into the water. If you go on eco mode, you can get up to 300 minutes of it being on standby mode, and by putting it in eco mode, you also extend the battery life and also get more efficient cleaning on the ground. Now, of course, there are some things that will be taken away to reduce the frequency of charging with eco mode. But with that being said, it also has a nice powerful pool vacuum filter that holds up to 380 liters of water per minute, removing leaves, dirt, and debris off the floor and the walls. When it comes to the actual cleaning process, the 3S goes in a S-like maneuver, so it goes from the corner of the pool and makes an S going up and down in an S direction, as well as using these little bumps on the side to help avoid for collision, and in our testing we've seen that the robot does a very good job of maintaining its positions. There were a few moments in the cracks and the grooves of the pool when there's steepness that it did almost get stuck, but it was able to fix itself on course and was able to pick up the residuals on the floor. But now that gets into the biggest part. How does it clean? Well, I want to thank my next door neighbor for allowing me to use his pool for the testing. And based on the results, I gotta tell you, for a first impression, it did phenomenal. Not only did it clean up almost everything in that pool, it was very effective and very fast. As a matter of fact, my AquaSense 2 Pro, while it's a great product, this one actually went surprisingly faster underwater. The motor was a lot more stronger in this one, and I noticed it was picking up a lot more debris. When we pulled the basket out, it surprisingly got a majority of the dirt and debris out of it, as you're seeing on screen. The only negative that we saw was that it didn't get some of those edgy corners at the corner of the pool where the little piece comes where you shoot out from the filter. So it did have a hard time going into the corner, but all in all, when it came to the cleaning process, it did a very good job. And if we put it back in a second time, it did an even just as satisfying job finishing off the spots it couldn't reach. But on its first shot, I was blown away, because this is the kind of level of performance you would expect from a $1,000 machine. And that gets into the next part, the app support. Now, real quickly, the app support is very basic. I think that is where one of my negatives falls in, is that while the app support is great, and I think it does give you an option for firmware, as well as scheduling and also the cleaning modes, I wish it had a little bit more to offer, especially given that the device itself may be limited in functionality and features, but it still has some capabilities. And I think with the firmware updates, it can improve everything over time. So I do hope that the app gets a little bit built out more, but at least they give it to you. And all in all, when it comes to the app, it's good to have, but it can be better. So all in all, what do I think of the robot? Now you're probably wondering, all right, you've been bragging about the price, you've been saying the price. What is the price and what are your thoughts on it? Well, listen, if you thought that this robot was $1,000, you're wrong. If you thought it was $900, you're wrong. $750, you're wrong. $650 maybe? No. This thing retails for $500. For $500, this machine is able to perform, I won't say outperform, but is able to perform at a high efficiency level than all of the other cleaners that I have coming soon on this channel. Now that doesn't mean that the other robots aren't good, but the fact that this machine is $500, ladies and gentlemen, $500. Now, the biggest positive is you're getting a premium cleaning experience. It does the job exactly what it needs to do. It not only does a great job of cleaning, but it gives you that experience, and the charging is very smooth, the experience is very smooth. This is exactly what you would expect, but you're paying less. The only negatives that I had was that it did have a trouble in a few areas of the pool, and also the app support can be a lot better. But with that being said though, can I really not recommend it? If you have a pool and you're on a budget, for 500 bucks, it's a no-brainer. You're saving a lot of money, you're getting a high-quality product, and you might be even getting a phenomenal product that outperforms $2,000 machines. So I can't sit here but in excitement and say, absolutely, you should definitely consider picking this up. Now, of course, there are other machines out there, so you should do your research, but in my opinion, I gotta say I was thoroughly blown away. And I think for the price, it's absolutely worth it. Now again, that is my review. If you have any questions or concerns, please write in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. If you disliked the video, you can hit the dislike button. That helps circulate my videos as well. As always, everyone, thank you so much for watching. I will see you all in the next episode. Have a good night and peace.